What's going on, y'all? It's your girl. I've been having the shittiest month, and I know I did another live talking about what was going on, but even on Christmas Eve, I had a um a follow up in my room. So me, the hubby, and the baby, because my oldest was with my mother the last couple of days. Spending time. So plus, school's out, ain't like we got shit going on here. So, um, we went to Greenville, and I said how I was taking off of the chemo drug, the methotrexate or whatever, and my white blood cell count kept dropping. Now, average blood cell count, sorry y'all, because my hands and stuff are weak right now. I'm really doing that bad. So if I look bad, I trust me, I feel the way I look. But at one point, my white blood cell count got to a 2.9, which is dangerously low. We all know that white blood cells are structured to help us naturally fight off illnesses and viruses. But because mine had gotten so low, if I had even caught just a regular common cold, I would have, I mean, they could have took me out. You get what I'm saying? Because my immune system is already compromised with the lupus. So, um, being that I was taking a what would I mean, some doctors don't consider methotrexate a chemo drug, but it really is. Um, it is designed to help, with the aching of the joints. And I don't know if y'all can really tell, my hands really are swollen. Oh, shout out to Walgreens with the Kiss Nails, baby. I had to do a little something, a little razzle and dazzle for the holidays. But yeah, I know it's hard to tell, but my hands and stuff are swollen. My left leg has been giving me a bother for the longest because y'all know I've been working guest services, which is basically the customer service desk at Target, and that's a lot of order drive up pickup, order pickup orders, the drive up orders, and having to be on my feet for a long time can trigger my symptoms, especially when I have not been on my meds. Now, this is part and due to my own fault because I probably should have said something at least 2 weeks ago when stuff first started happening. But she took me off my Plaquenil because she wanted me to have an up to date um, eye exam to make sure that the Plaquenil wasn't messing with my vision. And I asked her, was I at risk for going blind? And she said no. But it can mess with your vision. All these drugs, none of them are perfected. They all have side effects to some capacity. At some point, it was doing all right. And I think she wanted to do it so that way she knew from there how to adjust my meds. So when I went today, she actually, because she was trying to put me on I know I mentioned it before, the Bellista, Benista. I don't know. I've seen like the little commercial thing, the little ad on YouTube, but I don't know because a lot of these drugs that I'm taking, it feels like the um, Plaquenil is can be used for or has been used for lupus and lupus symptoms, but it is an actual anti-malarial drug. Now, I have an older sister who's a pharmacy tech in Ohio. Shout out to anybody in Ohio that takes the time to look at my videos. Um, she doesn't really take her meds, whatever. And I know recently she told me that she has been sent to a rheumatologist due to recent blood work. But the reason why she don't is because, being a farm tech, just like being a medical assistant, just like being a doctor, just like being a nurse, like RN, LPN, and stuff like that, we can be some of the worst patients. We can be our own worst enemy, and we don't go to the doctor until it gets to the worst case scenario. Um, and when she found out that the Plaquenil was original is initially an anti-malarial drug, she just refused to take it. Period. Um, which it sucks because okay, sorry y'all, I don't know what happened. But yeah, which is why I am so glad I was able to even get an epidural with my last pregnancy, which was 3 years ago. But because I mean, who likes to sit around in pain? Like I just don't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a person that does all that. I don't do those distressful things, those things that can send you into stress, that can send you, to just send you in a tizzy. It's not worth it. It really isn't because you get yourself overworked, overexert your body. and it just makes for an even worse situation. So um, like I said, I was taking methotrexate because it dropped my white blood cell count to 2.9. And again, if it had dropped any lower or had I caught like the flu or something like that, I probably could have easily been taken out. Now, I'm not going to put that on myself or put that in the universe for myself, but I'm just putting out the realistic potentials of having a real low white blood cell count. Um, and she put me on at least 2 more months worth because she was trying to see a lot of people, and you could tell she was double booked, honey, to capacity. Because, of course, like any doctor, you work hard, you like to play hard, or at least you like to enjoy the fruits of your labor and spend time with your family. I don't know per se if she has any kids or a husband. I'm gonna safely assume that she does, but I try to do right. I try to take the doctor's advice, even if it's against, not gonna say my better judgment, but even if I don't totally agree with it or whatever, some form, some of it has had to work or whatever because I hadn't always been in discomfort. And right now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I feel like I've been steamrolled over, fresh. Okay, like 10 trucks, one behind the other, just running over me, and I feel like that right now. But I do feel a little better because I struggled to get into the shower because I had been doing a little bit of driving by my own choice. My husband said his back was hurting, and I know it is because he puts on a lot of weight. Um, he takes on a lot and he does extra. So I have been walking on my feet and stuff like that. So when you have all that going on, plus autoimmune issues that affect your body and your joints and stuff like that, it will get to that point. Your body will feel it once you get into a state of rest. And trust me, my electric blanket. Shout out to Black Friday at Target, baby. But that electric blanket, it does help. It really does. Because if I can encase myself in the warmth, even if I'm sweating bullets, my joints aren't as tough to deal with the following morning. And plus, I had doubled up on my prednisone. I had started back taking it just to feel some kind of comfort, and that hadn't been working. Um, excuse me, mainly probably because it wasn't in conjunction with the Plaquenil. Also, she gave me a new drug, Imuron, and I try to stay off of Google, but I always try to look at the side effects, and it says it has potential to cause cancer and stuff like that. And when you hear things like that, I've gotten so many friends that have gone through chemo, or even like my one of my sister-in-laws, she's actually she actually has multiple myeloma, which is a rare bone marrow cancer, and she just recently underwent stem cell treatment just to try to get it in remission, try to get it together. And so far, so good. Her blood levels have been looking good. At least that's what she's been telling me. And all I can do is just thank God because, I mean, we had a rough patch in our relationship, but one thing is for certain when you're going through something like a chronic illness, the last thing you want to do is to be falling out with people because you never know when's your last time going to see them. And it depends on the situation too, because not everybody gets a second chance from me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm working on that, y'all. So pray for me. But yeah, keep her in prayer too, and keep her lifted. Um, I ask that y'all keep the world lifted. And those of us, especially in the chronically ill world, who are actually going through the most. Having to deal and having to, just cope with the fact that maybe we might have to live and be on medications the rest of our lives. That it's gonna be some days where you're gonna have to go through some pain or whatever, but it'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? You just deal what you got to do and take your meds and eat right. And that's part of my problem too. I know that I need to eat better. It's too easy to go to the McDonald's and get a little 10 piece, especially when they just had that recent classic meal honey for $6. I was jumping all on it. But you also got to think about I'm also working a fast paced situation where I'm in customer service all day long now, right now, and just working up an appetite, just burning, 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 and my husband he cooks pancakes and turkey bacon for us every morning. I do have my little cup of coffee and some orange juice to take my medicine, but at the same time, it's not like I'm eating a super heavy breakfast because I'm not one of the people that can eat to that stuff in the morning because then I want to go right back to sleep. And you can't really do that when you're on your feet. At a job you have to be on your feet all day. Um, I also have needed to get back on my water intake. Um, I know I was doing good for a minute. At one point, I even hosted my own 30-day water challenge, and that shit was hard. Like, I haven't drinking. Like, I want them people, when I cut something off, I have to cut it off cold turkey. Smoking anything that I've ever done in my life, not crack, cigarettes, weed, you know what I'm saying? Like the very, very low bottom of the barrel totem pole type stuff. But stuff that I've ever done in my life, I had to cut it cold turkey, because I think subconsciously it's just easier for me to. I'm one of them people that it's easier for me to do that, and um, also because when you do it cold turkey, you don't really have time to think about it because it's too easy for us to psych ourselves out of doing things, and we'll do good for a couple of days, or like everybody's been on the diet wagon where you'll be like, oh, I'll start Monday, then you get on the diet, and then them egg rolls or them chicken McNuggets start, smelling good, and then it's like, shit, I'm off the train now, you know what I'm saying? So I might as well just say fuck it and don't even worry about it at all. But I'm trying to do better because sometimes when my body goes into these rages, into these fits, I start having like scary thoughts like, oh my God, not that this is the end of the world or that I'm going to die the next day. I hope I don't. But it's like at the same time, when your body's going through so much and you're having to deal with all of it at one time, like I said, it's hard to cope because you can have all the support in the world, but you still have to go through a lot of shit by yourself, especially when you're going through this kind of pain. It's really no joke. It's really no fun. It's hard to deal with. And let me just say this. I know that if you meet somebody, especially if you're not suffering from a chronic illness yourself, chronic illness, excuse me, yourself, um, I know that some people are moved to say, just pray about it, or it'll be all right, and da 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 da, or I'm so sorry. I know because naturally as humans, it's that innate thing in us that just says, well, I don't know what to say, but let me say this because to me it just sounds good at that moment. To a person that's chronically ill, or at least for me, I don't like it. I really, really don't. I know we live in such a sensitive time right now, but I'm not saying it because I'm all in my feelings about it. I'm saying it because it's facts. I had an older woman. She looked older than my mother, so I'm just gonna safely assume that she was old enough to be my grandmother. And she said she had a daughter that was dealing with. I hope y'all can hear me, with lupus. And she kept saying, what? No, she said, well, she changed up her diet, and stuff like that, and it started getting a little better, and she prayed and prayed and prayed, and the pain just went away. Okay, look, I, for one, definitely believe that prayer works because trust me, I've had some days where I feel like, oh my God, Lord, please release this pain from my body, release this stress, relieve this strain, and I just want to feel better, Lord. You know what I'm saying? And coincidentally, it seems like the next day I don't go through as much pain, or the pain is totally lifted. So I do believe that God works and He heals and He works in mysterious ways. However, to keep saying that to a person, or for a person who's chronically ill to keep hearing that, it is annoying AF capital, okay? And I know that the woman meant well, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody's grandmother or mother, but it's just like, especially down here in South Carolina and further down into like Greenville, further south down like Greenville, because it's like an hour and a half south from where I'm at in Rock Hill. Um, they're so embedded in the Bible Belt that they believe that prayer cures everything. And my thing is, prayer does help. However, I have to think from a realistic standpoint because I'm the one that's actually living with it. You can't ask the doctor for a prescription of prayer, go fill it, and then take one with 8 ounces of water, you know what I'm saying, and then feel better by the next day because that's not how chronic illnesses work. And um, I just wish some people would be a little more sensitive, or don't tell somebody that you feel sorry for them. They're already going through enough. It's already a mental challenge, it's already a physical challenge. And the last thing I want somebody to do is to look at me, to take pity on me. I've never been a pitiful person, even when I've been at my sickest, and I'm talking pre lupus days. I've never liked the idea of somebody trying to take pity on me because I'm not a pitiful person or whatever. Because trust me, I've been through way worse things in my life. You understand? Not that I have like a hard knock story that I came from, but at the same time, I just feel like just be mindful of the wording, because I get it. Everybody means well, but at the end of the day, that doesn't always mean that when you hear it 5 million times a day, my initial thought is, oh, I know they meant well. my initial thought is gonna be like, here the hell we go again with this shit. Like, for real. Excuse me, y'all. I had to drink these right here. If you have not tried Eternal Waters from and this ain't no plug and none, from like Publix, y'all, I need to go see if they have any more because they're $1.99 and they're buy one get one free. And usually I grab more than two, but that's all I could carry at the time. Shit, my arms weak. They're like linguine al dente strong. I'm telling y'all, I'm a weakling when it comes to the arms. So if y'all see me drink water throughout this video, just know, because medicine makes your throat dry. And I'm talking, so have my baby say, so yeah, y'all. Excuse me. So, um, I also, especially coming into customer service, because I never thought I would be doing retail again. But push came to shove at that, and I needed me a check. So you trust me, if you knew most of the jobs I have worked in my life, oh, a chick is humble. You know what I'm saying? I just don't got time to run down my whole life in a video because I ain't that person looking for that kind of publicity. Um, but at that same time, working on my feet as much as I am, it becomes it becomes a difficult task even just walking or whatever because people are ordering big things for this during the seasonal period, and they're ordering like TVs. Not that I have to lift the TV on my own, because I have people that will come and do that. Like the cart attendants are usually guys, so you usually have some man in the store that's willing to help you out and carry it out to the car. We have women that do carry outs, and they're a little older than me, but guess what? I don't have that upper body strength for me to be trying to lift tubs of shit and big TVs and shit like that and further damage my body. Like I don't have time for that. Um, I know the job that I recently applied for, I got the interview and I was told that it went well, but I didn't get the job. And so I used to think it was because I would tell the interviewer that I had lupus because I never wanted to feel like I was being counted out. I never been good at interviews. Who really is that great at interviews? But when I actually Googled something to the effect of why am I getting interviews but no jobs, it was like having the tendency to overshare. um in hindsight, I was oversharing a bit about how working at Target is taxing on the body and I need something that's less strenuous. Now, even though they're understanding and they're receptive to me saying these things, you don't always want to feel like, oh, okay, she's just taking this job as a means of convenience or whatever. No, I want this job because I'm passionate about the medical field. I wish I was as more consistent in it than I had been, but at the same time, the rapport with patients, just learning and growing as a person within that field, because you get tried anywhere on any job that you have. You get attitudes. Like I got an attitude from some girl the other day because of some little order or something that she did and it didn't go right. But I'm not the one that, sorry y'all, pull orders. So I'm not going to sit here and get into it with nobody. Plus, I'm not in the physical condition to be sitting there trying to tussle with nobody or have somebody jeopardize my paycheck. Like, we just not even about to do all that. I don't have the strength, I don't have the patience, and I certainly don't have the time. So, with that being said, y'all, I have not given up because I do have plans for myself that I am determined to reach and conquer. And lupus is just a mere obstacle in my way. And I ain't gonna say mirror like I'm playing it down, but um, it's just one of those obstacles I'm not gonna let get the best of me. And that's another thing. When you're chronically ill, don't allow anybody to downplay what you're going through. Because unless they're living the life that you're living, taking the meds that you're taking, going through the pain that you're going through, it's too easy to dismiss someone who is chronically ill. Because I get people when they come up to me in the line and stuff, and when I finally do say that I have lupus, their faces change, and I'm like, no, I'm okay with it, because I used to have preconceived notions myself prior to getting sick, um, of what sick should look like. And I never felt more ignorant until I became sick. And I mean, I ain't gonna say ignorant. I wasn't oblivious to the situation, but I was kind of, well, I guess I can say ignorant. I just wasn't oblivious to the situation because I know every illness doesn't always present itself on the surface. Because anyone that looks at me doesn't necessarily look at me and see an illness. Um, let's see. Going back to like the eye exam. these health insurances, please pay attention because the health insurance that I do have is through my husband's job and it's a great insurance. But when you have these subsidiaries, like these secondary companies that they deal with, dealing with outside, because usually when you have like, hey babe, my husband's watching y'all, but when you have insurance, sometimes they have subsidiaries like secondary companies that they deal with, and they everybody doesn't always take those secondary, insurances or whatever. And usually when you have health insurance, you know that um like the dental and vision is always usually going to be labeled or be up under something different. um Let me see. It was like I had to call the insurance, that particular insurance, and try to see who would actually accept it. But it was like to no avail. I wasn't getting anybody. And then when I was trying to call people, they would take the insurance, but at the same time, hey y'all, but at the same time, um, they it was just always something. You know what I'm saying? For a reason why they weren't taking it. And a lot of people get damn lazy too. And you got to make sure that they call. Like they're supposed to call and verify insurance. Like I could have easily went to America's Best, but the one that was nearby, they didn't even so much as take the time to um, call and verify the damn insurance. And that was annoying as fuck that I had to do it myself. So when it all came down to it, it prolonged me being off of my damn medicine. And you can't play with that when you're in discomfort. It's just it's a hard thing to deal with. Um right now I'm not feeling my best. I'm feeling way better than I did a minute ago, but trust me, that struggle to take that shower, like this is what I'm saying. When you have chronic illness, you never realized how much you took stuff for granted, like just walking to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying, in the middle of the night to take a piss. Like you just do not think that those kind of things, um, I ain't gonna say matter, but you don't look at them that deep until something like this happens, and you kind of lose the ability to do so. I know I've mentioned in previous videos that in the very beginning of this disease, with the symptoms and stuff, my husband had to help me in the shower. He sometimes not bathe my body, but you get what I'm saying? Because once I was in the hot water, I was good. But of course, what husband doesn't wash your wife's back or whatever? It's other people that do. But he had to help me lotion my body, had to help me put on my underwear, put on my bra, help me put on my clothes, like literally on top of getting himself together and getting our daughter together. And luckily, our other kids are 16 and 9, so they can dress themselves. Um, it just sucks having simple things like that taken away from you. It really, really, really sucks. And I used to feel so bad and I used to cry about it. I mean, trust me. And I know I've said before, I'm not the biggest crier or whatever, but I had my moments to myself and still have my moments where you just go through a lot of shit, and you don't know how to deal because I've always been one of those people that have been, well, I've said previously, being strong or whatever. And learn to check on your strong friends. I'm getting ready to tell you, strength is so fucking overrated. I know I say it all the time, but it is facts. Strength is so fucking overrated because when it comes down to it, even strong people have a weak moment. I have weak moments all the time. I just don't broadcast them all the time. And when you don't broadcast every moment of your life, people will try to say you're being sneaky or secretive, or you trying to front for the gram or front for social media. And it has nothing to do with that. If I'm having a shitty ass day, you don't always have to know that I'm having a shitty ass day. If me and my husband are going through something, it ain't nobody's business because it's our marriage, and marriage is between the two people that are married. And that's just as real as it gets. I only let on what I want you to know. Point blank, period. And I make no apologies for being myself, or I make no apologies for that. Just period. Point blank, period. That's it. Um, but yeah, I just decided to hop on here. Sometimes I want to hop on here and vent, and then I know y'all seen a million and one damn videos that are like that, but I see why people post the videos they do and post as much as they do because it's almost like having a virtual diary. You can just you're at liberty to say whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to worry about. I mean, people gonna judge you regardless, and I'm just a person that I try not to be judgmental as possible. I have my judgy moments. I mean, because I'm human, but At the same, or I judge you based off of what you're showing me. Let me put it like that. Your behaviors, your mannerisms. But at the same time, I can give a fuck less. Everybody can live the way they want to live, love who they want to love. Because at this point in my life, one thing that being chronically ill has taught me is that some things just ain't even worth tripping over. Some things are just not that deep. You don't know what a person's story is. Nobody knows what a story, what a person is going through. That's why I've always gotten compliments on sometimes being the first smiling face when somebody walks through the door in Target because I've never really been a morning person. I've gotten better over the years, and certainly since me and my husband been together, because he'll tell you, honey, I'm hell, okay, in the morning. But I don't. I am trying to grow, and growth is just what it is. It's growth. So with that, I'm trying to not be perfect, but not. Um, Let me see. I'm not trying to be perfect because there's no such thing, but I'm trying to just get better with time and with age or whatever because it can only help. Appreciate the support, y'all. But yeah, y'all, I just had to get on here and tell y'all. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's a totally shitty holiday, but it's just, oh Lord, but it's just the way I'm feeling physically is making it feel shitty. I'm blessed to have my family living and breathing. Shout out to my mother-in-law, rest in peace, Cleona Wardlaw. My husband's mother passed around this time of year, and I know it's hard for him, and he's on my mind heavy as well around this time of year because we done spent 7 Christmases together basically, and I'm just blessed to have my mother still. It makes me hold on to my mother even closer, even though we already have a tight knit relationship. That's why I say things that you take for granted before that you never thought that you took for granted. Seeing a lot of my friends losing their mothers recently and stuff like that, like that's a devastating blow to anybody, and you never get over because you only get one. So, shout out to him for being such a great person in my life, a great force in my life. He encourages me as equally as he works my damn nerves. But you know what I'm saying, that's marriage. Um, he really encourages me. He tries to have my back as much as he can. And I just feel like shit a lot of the times because he has had to carry so much of where I lack. And I hate to say lack because I was never a woman that lacked before I met him, but I think God puts you in certain positions in your life to humble you and to get you to understand that it is okay to, because it's not really depending on your husband when you're married or whatever, because this is a union, this is a situation that y'all chose to get into together. So, that's pretty much the thick and the thin of it, y'all. Please comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know, how your holidays are going. And I'm sure mine will get better, hopefully by tomorrow, whatever. I think my body's just super exhausted. And, when your body feels like it's been hit by a bus, you kind of just need to rest, just flat out rest. And I've been doing a lot, quite a bit today, being that we had to go to Greenville for my doctor's appointment, my follow up appointment, because even just riding in a car for an extended period of time can do a number on your body. So, love and light, y'all. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Be blessed. Y'all be safe out there. I want everybody to go back to work first thing Wednesday or whenever you go back, if you're on vacay, in one piece. And it's not necessarily, I mean, gifts are nice, but it's not necessarily about the gifts. It's about the principle of just being together and spending time. So I will holler at y'all on my next video. Peace.